League confirming today that the derby, which recorded the highest official attendance in a Premier Soccer League match this season, when 18,000 fans witnessed Dynamos beat Cape United 2-0 in the reverse fixture back in May, will be played at the same venue on Sunday. So we did speak to some fans in Harare, and this was their reaction to the return of the derby to their own backyard.
Iri bora vanaka rauya Harare kuda kutamba zvakanaka munyarara kuno katilo nevanhu totamba bhora ende tine win ngavaziziye izvozvo ndapota hangu hatisuda noise peace
bhora radzoka muHarare ende tese takazara but chinhu wani chatokondema violence like zvakaitika kuBaba Fields. Security ngaiwande mumagrounds bozi togona kuya nemukadzi wangu ane pamuviri tichiona bhora hazvizobude picture yakanaka akubuda mukadzi atsikirirwa akuvara taita se bhora ngatitambe zvakanaka tichiwina dhimbari chazunguza yakapedza
inini zvangu maonera ndoita
tinonzwa kufara because takatanga kunyanya kungoona bhora rekunze kwenyika international soccer mapremier leagues ekunze tiditsika tikaona Dynamos neCape United Highlanders Chicken Inn wanani wakutamba matimu zvese akutamba muHarare tikuona magrounds arogadzirwa kuti bhora rionekwe ya at least munema kuti takunzwawo kufara taone entertainment iri padhuze entertainment akugara tingori muBhava tichiona bhora rekunze kwenyika zvakutirwadza.
inini supporter Caps nongotarisira fair game not game kuti ringe rine 35% kune imwe team 60 or 75% kune other team ref ngaasava ne side kana achirefura bhora
marelations emafans handiti kuti mafans eDynamos nemafans enhingirikini eHighlanders vanofanira kunge vachi those people should respect each other manzikisa vanhu havafaniri kunge vari tribalistic yekuti vanhu mandebele anoti isu tiri mandebele mashona tiri mashona we are all Zimbabweans, we all love the sport handiti saka zifa nePSL I think zvinofanira kushanda panyaya iyoyo yekuti zviite kuti mafans awirirane.
So those are some of the fans in Harare that we spoke to. Asimba, it seems to be a common theme, especially maybe after, with the Battle of Zimbabwe still fresh in the memory of many football fans. One of the consistent themes, especially listening to those fans, as much as they're excited, is about peace and no violence when it comes to the derby the Sunday.
Yeah, indeed, Mr. Teach, and it seems that people are really excited that football is back in Harare. I mean, the top-flight football, and especially more you can't ask when you have the Harare Derby being the game that is opening it. But I must admit that I really enjoyed that atmosphere at Biofuel Stadium, and I would have loved a last dance of the Harare Derby at BF, and also seeing David coming to Gweru almost every weekend with Cape United. I had enjoyed it. So for some people outside Harare, they enjoyed it, but for people in Harare, I think they are now happy that football is back.
I'm trying to debate. Okay, let me ask you as a Cape United person first, obviously coming back to the capital, National Sports Stadium, especially for such a big game, given what happened at the same venue last time, maybe the perfect venue for revenge, maybe?
It's not about revenge, Mr. Tish, but it's about giving fans entertainment. And at the end of the day, if you watched the last derby, I think it was so exciting that I'm not more my yellow cards, or even though Cape United got a red card, but entertainment value, I think the fans deserved what they saw. And it's been long since both sets of fans enjoyed watching their team, passing the ball, Dynamos fans, enjoying their team, especially on a good run. Like last time that they had almost like 6 games without a defeat, then they got a defeat last week, and they are now going in Harare Derby, with the defeat back in their minds, and they would want again to do a double against Cape United. But for me, I wouldn't want such a situation whereby they can get a double over us. And way back it was either they share 3 points each by end of year, fans to fight, especially Harare Derby though. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 incidences that happened before, but kusati kwamboitika ma-incidences violence between those two sides.
I want to talk about what you highlighted, which was how entertaining the reverse fixture was that was won by Dynamos. I mean, official figures put it at 18,000, which officially is the highest attendance we've seen in the league so far. Do you think with all the excitement that we've heard and the calls for peace, we can see anywhere near that number come Sunday?
Yeah, we are expecting a bumper crowd, Mr. Tish, coming on Sunday. Of course, it hasn't been rosy for Cape United fans ever since we moved to Gweru, where we had recorded one win in the league and one win in Chibuku Super Cup. Then the rest, it was either draws and one defeat that we got against Ngezi. But if you look at how we've been playing good football, but we're not just lucky to get maximum points, and it's a phase that I think will come and to an end come on Sunday. Yeah, we believe we can turn things around with the performance that we showed against Chicken Inn, and yeah, call upon our fans, especially the Harare based fans vangavasiri kwanisa kutravela kuya kugweru to come and witness another Harare derby this time around. Yeah, we wish the team all the best, and obviously we would want to have the break rise Zemo Harare back again.
I'm super excited for this one. I really enjoyed the last one. Dynamos versus Caps United. Contrasting fortunes for both teams, but a derby always has that unique flavor to it. And remember, you can watch all the action live on ZTN Prime. That's on Sunday from 3 p.m. So in other Kasolaga Premier Soccer League matches on this weekend, our love leaders Ngezi Platinum Stars are away to ZPC Kariba Nyamunga. FC Platinum will take on a side that's quietly becoming a thorn in their side. That's Herentals. That will be on Saturday. That's also live on ZTN Prime. Chicken Inn will welcome Triangle to Luveve. Greenfield will be in Chisumbanje at their own Greenfield Stadium when they welcome Simbabora. Yada will be playing at the Baobab Stadium as the home team when Bulawayo Chiefs visit. And Shesham will be at the Bara Stadium in Gweru. That is for Cranbourne Bullets visit. Manika Diamonds on Sunday. They are away to Black Rhinos at Bata. Highlanders away to Wange at the Coal area. And of course, the big one, Dynamos versus Caps United at the National Sports Stadium. But before we move on, obviously a lot of the focus, especially on the Harare Derby and the fact that it's returning to the capital. But looking at those fixtures, which are some of the matches that you'll be looking at when it comes to the weekend football fiesta?
I think the FC Platinum Herentals game, look what happened last season, especially in the Chibuku semi-final. And if you also saw how FC Platinum has been struggling against Herentals, remember last season, also the National Sports Stadium, I think they went on a good run, but the team that stopped that was Herentals. And I think also another tricky game is Black Rhinos versus Manika Diamonds, a potential banana skin for Manika Diamonds at Bata Stadium.
All right, staying with local football news, Rentals Football Club have dedicated their 2-1 win over Black Rhinos this past weekend to one of their fans, that's Elros Garawaziwa, who passed away in an accident while traveling to Kariba to watch her team, the Students. So Garawaziwa was 15 and she was buried in Chinui last week with Rentals players and staff from their Premier Soccer League, Division 1, Division 2 and the Women's Super League team in attendance. So against Rhinos on Saturday, the players wore black armbands in honor of her, and they were also seen clad in t-shirts with images of her as they paid tribute. Let's hear from Herentals captain Blessing Majarira.
Zvakaitika last week, I think zvakangotibata and it disturbs us. So ndingangoti we were fighting for the young girl who died. Tairwirawo mweya wake kuti uzorore mugare. She was coming to support us. So this was the fighting back to our winning ways. When we attended the burial, a mother told us that we must fight for a win. Ndoma Chimero avakakumbira kuti tokumbira kuti next game you must win so that you will rest in peace.
A beautiful tribute there from the Students, and yeah, our thoughts and prayers there goes out to her family there. But David, black armbands, t-shirts, and you know what, for someone who obviously loved the game, if you're traveling all the way to Kariba to then dedicate a win and manage to do that is a wonderful gesture from Herentals Football Club.
Yeah, it's a wonderful gesture, and I think we have to applaud Herentals for whatever they did to the family family and also to their fans. You know, it's really sad to lose one of your fans, especially at a tender age. She was just 15, and look, she was traveling to Kariba, obviously, to go and enjoy, you know, one of the games. And Rentals this season, of course, they are doing quite well, and with the fast supporters that they always carry, you know, to all the away games, and even when they are using Mandava Stadium, those fans are always there, and you know, to cheer up the boys. So yeah, she must rest in peace, peacefully.
Yeah, indeed, Mr. Teacher, a good gesture from Rentals, you know, standing by the family of the deceased. And it said that she died under those circumstances at a very young age. But for the club to show that it cares for its supporters, it's something that is really plausible.
This is football. Football! I think we have a winner. Loser. The news is our life. Did you hear what the weatherman said?
Ready for... It's the complete radio sports show. The Daily Sports Zone is on right now.
So the Daily Sports Zone continues right here on Star FM, your first choice for sport. And let's talk about one of Zimbabwe's oldest football clubs, Zimbabwe Saints, popularly known as Chauya Chikwata. So they are reportedly considering selling some of their assets, including a stand and a house in Bulawayo. This is after falling on hard times. Last Friday, Chauya Chikwata were expelled from the Southern Region, Division 1, for the second time in the last decade. And this was over failure to fulfill fixtures as well as pay affiliation fees. So Zimbabwe Saints acting chairman Ishmael Kaguru says the club will bounce back despite their recent troubles.
The way forward, the next year, we'll start from the year where we can afford, and we are also planning with time accounting. So that's not business of longer die. We've got a lot of plans for it. One day the economy will pick up, one day we'll get the sponsor. So that we will go out. So it's all about the money, not the guarantee. Actually, the scheme that house we were offered by one of the supporters. So since we got that stage, we may plan in the near future, if I agree, to sell the stand so that we can get a start from next year. The time at least someone to be able to get the money.
So that is Zimbabwe Saints acting chairman Ishmael Kaguru speaking to senior reporter from the Chronicle, Lovemore Dube, there, who had that sit down with him. Simba, looking at Chauya Chikwata, you know, you think of names like Ronald Gidiza Sibanda, Agent Ajira Sau, Ephraim Chawanda, so many luminaries, even a former president of this, former vice president actually of Zimbabwe, Joseph Msiga, actually strapped up his boots for the club. But 2014, this happened to them. They bounced back. They're trying to bounce back again, starting in Division 4.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult. I was listening to Gagoro speaking, Mr. Teach. Even if they are going to sell that stand, football is, very taxing in terms of money. So if you sell it, and then as long as you are not generating money, or as long as you don't have a sponsor with deep pockets, you're still going to find yourself in that situation again. It's really sad because I think you look at how they've lost in terms of a generation of supporters. You know, those kids that were born from around 2002 or 2000 in the new millennium, most of them don't know much about Zimbabwe Saints. And you look at teams that are propping up like Bulawayo Chiefs, how they're also growing their brand, and it's said that they're missing out. And I don't know what really the problem is, because if you look last year, there was a guy who is based in Australia, I think, and then the guy who is now owning a team called Adachi in Southern Region, and he was putting money and sponsoring them, and we thought maybe that guy could also have gotten some shares or something, so that you have somebody who is liquid who can bankroll the team. And I think the other problem is, if you really look at when the problems at Zimbabwe Saints started, from the time that they won Chibuku 1988, during those heydays, getting into the 90s, the divisions started propping up, and I think as long as those divisions are still within the club, it will also be difficult. Just rewind to the time that the club was formed. It was formed out of 13 burial societies, and these were 13 burial societies of people who were originally from Mashonaland getting into Ublawayo. So they had the chapter, the Fort Victoria chapter, now Mashingo, Fort Shata, Chivu, and those from Manikaland, those from Mashonaland. Now, if you look at the squabbles that have always been there at Zimbabwe Saints, they're emanating from that. Once one from those in leadership are coming in from one part of the country and seems to be successful, and then the others would try to pull them down. So as long as they also don't address that, we'll continue to have that problem at Zimbabwe Saints. But it's really sad that a big brand like Zimbabwe Saints should not be struggling the way they are doing at the moment. We should be seeing that derby between Highlanders and Zimbabwe Saints, and that derby between Zimbabwe Saints and Dynamos.
But just looking at it as well, I was just doing my research. 1931, that's when the club was formed. I can only think of Shabani Mine and Highlanders as clubs that are older than them. David Cape United, Dynamos, they're all younger than Zimbabwe Saints, but they've fallen through hard times. I just want you maybe to speak on how difficult it is for any club, especially maybe in the top levels of Zimbabwean football, to operate. Because I think about it, look at all the clubs that are sort of sustainable. They're based and funded by community, corporate social responsibility programs. Everybody else, I don't think the football ecosystem in this country allows for a sustainable business model in football. And this is a glaring example when it comes to Challenge Quarter.
Yeah, I think the most difficult part, Mr. TG, is for team to disband and collapse for good. And those in Zakaoma, because kunenge kuchine vangu vanenge vachi believe kuti no, we can still come back, get the team in Division 1, forgetting that Division 1 is also taxing in terms of traveling, playing home matches.
Division 4?
Yeah. You know what? Zimbabwe Saints is going the same way Black Aces did. Aces was relegated in 2001. They played in Division 1. That was the end of Black Aces. Up until today.
But Zimbabwe Saints have bounced back before they were relegated. They were expelled in 2014. They bounced back. Can they do it again?
You know what? Black Aces, they tried to revive it. I think that was 3-4 years ago, before COVID era.
Yeah, I remember attending one of the meetings.
Yeah, they tried to do that, but it's not easy, Mr. Tish. You can have the team back in Division 1, which is taxing. You need to start from somewhere, either Division 3 or Division 2. What Zimbabwe Saints are doing is quite okay, but they need someone who can bankroll the team from there up until they come back to the Premier League. I can give you an example of Luton Town. They went to 50th tier of English football up until they came back to the Premier League. They were a Premier League team before it was called EPL, right? But now they're back. They had players. Right now they've got a player who started from that 5th tier up until they got promoted into the Premier League. So I think Zimbabwe says, they've got a very good idea, but the squabbles, Mr. Tish, that's where the problem is. I think Dara Holmes and Anana Vincent Pamire, they need to sit down and sort out ownership and leadership.
All right, let's quickly look at the UEFA Champions League group stages, which start tonight. Newcastle are away to AC Milan. Eddie Howe will be attending his first match. That's actually strange. We would say Man City up against Red Star Belgrade. Paris Saint-Germain take on Borussia Dortmund. Barcelona welcome Antwerp to the new camp, and Lazio face off with Atletico Madrid. Newcastle, oil rich Saudi Arabia. Eddie Howe never been to a Champions League game in his life. Can he get an upset? It would be an upset against 7-time champions AC Milan, surely.
Yeah, we can say 7-time champions, Mr. Tich, but AC Milan are not the AC Milan of old. And if I have to ask you about the players that are there, you struggle to come up with 5, 4, 6 players that are really doing well, except Rafael Leao and quite a few players. So I think it's a game that they can also go in there and think their chances of winning, because if you look at AC Milan, for me, yes, are one of the best teams in terms of history, but in terms of the playing personnel at the moment, I think Newcastle can match them.
Another big one is PSG versus Dortmund. Which one do you think is bigger, PSG, Dortmund, or AC Milan, Newcastle?
I think the PSG Dortmund game, I think it's one of those big games, considering the playing personnel on both sides, and the way Dortmund has been playing, especially in the Champions League from last season, 2 years ago, even during the Klopp era. I think Dortmund, is a formidable side. Then PSG, I think, with Luis Enrique, they need to do better this time around, because Neymar is no longer there, Lionel Messi is no longer there, then Kylian Mbappe, I think, leading the attack, the new look attack, PSG, I think they are going to fancy their chances of winning the Champions League this season again.
Closing headlines on the Tuesday Be Awesome Tuesday edition of the Daily Sports Zone. Top Flight Football returns to the capital this weekend with the National Sports Stadium set to host the Harare Derby between Dynamos and Cape United. That's on Sunday. And we did hear from acting chairman for Zimbabwe Saints, Ishmael Kaguru, one of Zimbabwe's oldest football clubs, who says they are considering selling some of their assets, including a stand in Bulawayo, after falling on hard times. But our team in the studio believes they need to sort out their leadership structures, their ownership structures, and the divisions that have bedeviled the clubs. And obviously, Herentro Football Club, with a wonderful gesture by dedicating their 2-1 win over Black Rhinos over the weekend to one of their fans. That's Elrose Garawaziwa. She was 15 and she passed away in an accident whilst traveling to Kariba to support the team. And you can tune into Breakfast Sports 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30 tomorrow. That's with ET, and it'll give you all the reaction to the UEFA Champions League action that's on tonight. The pick of the fixtures for us: AC Milan versus Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain versus Borussia Dortmund. That's a wrap for Choose to Be Awesome Tuesday right here on Star FM.
You've been listening to the Daily Sports Zone. Star FM. Sounding good all the time.